Om Sahanatu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samast Jan Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satguru Brahma Vidvaram Satguru Brahma Vidvaram. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathita Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayani Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangha Kramo Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na vidut sura suragana Devai tasmai namaha Devai tasmai namaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo namaha. Hari Om. So today we will be beginning chapter 6. Just to briefly summarize the first 5 chapters. The first chapter is Arjuna's confusion. And it's not Arjuna's confusion, our confusion. Arjuna is us. We are confused about our goal in life. What is my purpose? Where am I going? And how am I to get there? And so we approach Bhagavan Shri Krishna for knowledge. Arjuna says, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapanna. I have surrendered to you, Bhagavan, and please teach me. So Guru or Bhagavan will only teach when we are ready to surrender. With humility, not with the idea that I already know the Bhagavad Gita, but that's why we say Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita. O Bhagavad Gita Mother, we prostrate to you, we meditate upon you. May we reach the goal of Advaita, which you have taught us. So we start with our gratitude to Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the teacher of the Bhagavad Gita, and Mother Gita for the knowledge. And in the second chapter, Bhagavan Shri Krishna then tells Arjuna, first of all, at the highest level, that all of us are that Atma, the Self. He says, you, me, the kings, all gathered soldiers. None of us perish. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. We were never born, we never perish. As Atma, the Self, Om, I am all, we are all eternal. But at the level of the body, we have to do our duty and the body will perish. And so Bhagavan, after the absolute knowledge, brings us down to our level where he says, yes, this body will perish. And that is inevitable. So tasya ka paridevana, then why should we grieve about it? Because Arjuna was worried about all these people dying in the battle. And he tells Arjuna and tells us that whatever duty you have been assigned in this life, you have to do it. And we'll talk about that today also in today's discourse. So Arjuna's duty as a warrior to protect dharma, Bhagavan reminds him of that. And for us, remind us of whatever our duty is, wherever I am, mother, father, husband, wife, son, daughter, grandparents, that is our duty, we must do it. Then the second chapter is a brief summary of the entire 18 chapters that Bhagavan is going to teach us. He summarizes in the second chapter in different verses, Karma Yoga, all those, Yagna, spirit, and all those. At the end of the second chapter, Arjuna asks about the man of wisdom, Sthita Prajna, because he wants to know how this man of wisdom functions in the world, because he sees how glorious this person's life is, and he wants to be like that. So these verses of this end of this second chapter are inspiration for all of us, how we should live our life wisely. After that, Bhagavan in the third chapter is a very, very beautiful, complete description of how to work. What is karma? What is karma yoga? And how we can do our duties dedicated to Bhagavan, work unselfishly for the benefit of others, without I, me, and my. And how we can purify our mind through karma yoga, working for others. That has been explained in the third chapter. The fourth chapter, Bhagavan reveals his nature as the supreme self, but Bhagavan Atma, who has manifested in this human body. So we should not only think of Sri Krishna as a human, son of Devaki and beloved of the gopis, but also we should look at Bhagavan Sri Krishna as the supreme Brahman incarnated, manifested upon this earth. And then Bhagavan in the fourth chapter talks to him about Yagna spirit, how we can work together, sync our just as when we do a big yagna, people get together and the yagna is maybe done for a specific purpose. Maybe I may do it for my own personal, I'm starting a new business or building a house, or I have a new child. Or we do yagna for the benefit of all, as we do in our July anniversary, where we do Sudarshan Homam for the benefit of all. So when yagna is done, it should be done with the spirit that let us all work together, sync our individual differences, and work for the betterment of society. So yagna is not only the offering in the fire, but Bhagavan says any community effort where we all get together and work for the benefit of all is a yagna. It could be working to build an hospital or a orphanage, or working for the benefit of the mission, the temple. Wherever we work with that attitude, we are working in yagna spirit. And Bhagavan says every activity can become a yagna. Do not think even when you get up in the morning and eat your breakfast, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi, even eating should become an offering to Bhagwan, because I say the food is the Lord, the one who prepared the food is the Lord, the one who grew the food is also Bhagwan, the one eating me is Bhagwan, the one nourished within is Bhagwan, and the goal of eating is so that I may have energy to do my spiritual sadhana and reach Brahman. Brahmaivatena gantavyam. And every activity, reading, studying, anything that I do in this life, I can make it a yajna, make it an offering to Bhagwan. So constantly remembering God and seeing Him in all activities and everything that we are doing, see the Lord's presence. So I am not the doer. Bhagwan is working through me. With that attitude, we should do all our activities. So that is the yajna spirit. In the 5th chapter, Arjuna asks about yoga and sannyas. And Bhagwan explains that yoga, for you, karma yoga is the path for you right now, because you are on the battlefield where your duty as a Kshatriya is to fight for dharma. Arjuna wanted to go to the forest and meditate for sannyas. Do your duty wherever you have been placed, and slowly, as your thinking evolves, as your duties are fulfilled to some extent, develop a detachment and connect with the self, the Lord within, and give up doership, that I am not doing it. The Bhakta says, I do nothing, Bhagwan works through me. The Jnani says, I am the Atma, the pure self, and in my presence, this body, mind, intellect is working. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavid pashyan shrinvan sprishan jigran ashnan gachan swapan shvasan indriyani indriyartheshu varsanta iti dharayan. So the wise person always identifies himself with the Atma, the pure self, connects with the Lord within and says that I am not the doer. The body is functioning, but I am the Atma. So ever abidance in that understanding is the role of the 5th chapter, where Bhagwan says, you are not this body. The body is your instrument. You are an occupant of the body, but you are not the body, just as you are an occupant of the house, but you are not the house. And so that is the teaching of the 5th chapter. And once a person is abiding in that knowledge, then he is ready for the path of meditation. So today we will begin the 6th chapter, which is called Dhyana Yoga, or the path of meditation. If you are not able to see, you can turn on the light, please, in the back. So Dhyana Yoga, the path of meditation. Thank you. Now this beautiful chapter by Bhagwan has been placed right in the correct place, because Bhagavad Gita has 3 parts to it. What we call as Jiva Brahmaiva Ekyam. Jiva Brahma Ekyam. Jiva Brahmaiva Naparaha. So Jiva, the individual, is that supreme self, the Om, the Brahman, the consciousness. I'm not separate from that. So people misunderstand that, oh, Bhagavad Gita says, I am God. We never say I am God. As God, the moment you use the word God, God is the creator, sustainer, destroyer of this entire universe. And I am an individual, I'm a mortal, and I'm a humble servant of God. So we never say I am God or I am, but I am a servant of God. I work as an instrument and God works through me. Whatever activity is going on, talking, listening, everything is Bhagwan working. But at the absolute level, at the level of Om, at the BMI level, at the body, mind, intellect level, I am Bhagwan's servant. But when I identify with Om, the Atma, the consciousness, then there is only one. There are not different Atmas, different consciousness. It's not my Atma, my consciousness, your consciousness. At the absolute level, there is only one, which we call as Brahman. So Om and Brahman are the same. There is no difference. So that Brahman alone has become this whole universe. And so then I cannot be separate from, because I cannot say I'm separate from Brahman or I'm separate from God. You can say God. So while working, I am his humble servant, but in my understanding, I am one. And that's what we meditate upon. So the 6th chapter, Bhagwan wants to emphasize this path of meditation. And the 6th chapter has many sections, many parts. So first of all, what is meditation? That will be covered in this chapter. Who is the meditator? What are the qualifications for a person to become a meditator, to prepare himself or herself for this path? All that is covered. Then what is the technique of meditation? Where should I meditate? How should I meditate? When should I meditate? All that has been covered in the 6th chapter. Then in meditation, there will be obstacles on my path. My mind will wander, all those things will happen, agitations, confusions. So how to handle those obstacles is also covered in the 6th chapter. What is the goal of meditation? What is the benefit of meditation is also explained. And lastly, how does a meditator function in the world? A person who has been meditating, how does that person change their attitude towards the world, towards God, and how does he function? So all that is covered in the 6th chapter completely, from who is the meditator, what is meditation, why we should meditate, how, what are the obstacles, what are the techniques, and how to overcome them, and how I can change my life through meditation. So all that is explained, and how to carry out my activities in this world with the background of meditation. So with this introduction, we can start the 6th chapter. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः ध्यानयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रितकर्मफलम् कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः Shri Bhagavanuvacha Anashritamapah Sasanyāsī ca yogi ca na niragnirna chakriyah. So, in the beginning of the 6th chapter, Bhagavan says, Anashrita karma phalam. Anashrita, ashrita means depending on. Anashrita means not depending on karma phalam, not depending on the fruit of action. Karyam karma. Karyam karma means obligatory duties. What I am supposed to do. Karoti yaha. Yaha means whoever that person is, young, old, man, woman, whoever that person is, who does his obligatory duties without depending on the fruit of action. Sa Sanyāsī cha yogi cha. He is a sannyasi, the yogi. Because our idea of sannyasi and yogi are very different. We think sannyasi is on orange clothes, has nothing to do with the world, wanders somewhere looking lost, with a long beard and long hair. We have all these ideas. And yogi means be somebody who has great powers. And so Bhagavan says, no, 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 no. That is not sannyasi. That is not yogi. One who does obligatory duties without depending on result. So he is a sannyasi, not niragni. Niragni means without fire, not akriya, without activity. So sannyasi is not one who gives up fire and gives up activity and does nothing. So a lot of misconceptions we have, and Bhagavan here does not wait for Arjuna's question. He feels that these are the points that to some extent he has covered in the previous chapters, but need further explanation. So anashrita, so ashraya. Ashraya is the first point we will cover. What is our ashraya? Ashraya means what is my support? What do I depend on? And we say, well, what do I depend on? I depend on my house. House will keep me safe. House will keep me secure. So everybody says, I must buy a house. I must have a house. But is the house secure? No, because we have to install alarm system to secure the house. The house itself needs security. And then we have this elaborate alarm system with cameras, rings. And then we get false alarms and some, police comes without the. So house itself is not secure. We have to secure it. Then we say, you know what, I should buy a gun. Because tomorrow if some person comes to my house, I should be ready. And especially in this country, guns are, people say I have a right to own a gun. And everybody buys a gun, whether they need it or not. And we think gun will give me the most security. That is the most insecure. Every day we find instances of children getting gun and shooting other children accidentally, or somebody gets angry. In the olden days, he would punch him and person would get hurt. Now what does he do? He gets a gun, not only kills the other, but all the family members. And we see mass murders happening constantly. Now we turn the page. Okay, shooting happened, 18 people died, okay, what else? Previously we used to get angry, we should stop guns, and now nobody, 20, 30 people got killed. He has machine guns, AK-40. We don't even think about it. This becomes so unfortunate. It is so sad. And any effort to control guns is a failure because of the gun lobby. So gun is, or the second thing, I have the gun. Now where should I lock it up so that it doesn't get in the hands of children? So I lock it up in a safe in some corner. And then when the time comes, I'm looking for the key. Where is my gun? So gun is the most insecure, but we think gun will give us security. Or I say money, my stock market will give me security. That's why stocks are called securities. But we don't know when it will go up, when it will go down, when the market will crash. So nothing, and even if it does, my money, my house, it gives me temporary security. It does not give me permanent, complete security. Then I think my friends, my relatives, or I know the congressman, I know the senator, he will give me security. Only they will give security till you pay them. Every month you do their fundraisers and go to all the work for them. They are only there for their own benefit. So if we think that any other person will help me, that is also not secure. So what is the only security? Ek, and that he says is Bhagwan. Bhagwan is the ashraya. Actually, everything I have is given by Bhagwan. My body, my mind, my ability to think, my house, my car, my children, my money, everything, the fruit, the food, everything is given by Bhagwan. And he's the one constantly supporting us. When I'm in deep sleep, who is maintaining my body? When I'm working, who is giving me the ability to walk, talk, think? So only security we have is Bhagwan, and that should be the main ashrita. You alone are, and that should be the attitude. Of course, I have to do my duty, but whatever achievement I have, I express my gratitude. So every day, get up in the morning with gratitude to Bhagwan, go to bed at night, remembering the Lord. Then he says karma phala. So karma phala, people think karma phala, how can we work without, they say, what does Gita say? Karma kar, phal ki chinta mat kar. Do action, do not worry about. So people think while working, you don't have to worry about what the result is. But we always do. Like after this class is over, I say, I have no goal. I have no phal. No, we have a purpose. After this class is over, I'll go have lunch, perhaps watch TV. So we always have a goal in mind. When we start our career, we have a goal. I'm going to become an engineer, lawyer, doctor, accountant. And then in my profession, in my job, I have a goal. So goal is always there. You cannot work in life without goal, without a purpose. So what is the meaning of that is that while I am doing the action, I focus on the action, not on the result. Otherwise, while we are doing the action, if our focus is on the result, what am I going to get? Then our action will not be efficient. So that is karma yoga. Work in the present, do what you are supposed to do, and my goal of life should be how I can serve the society. So that is the whole third chapter of Karma Yoga, working unselfishly without I, me, and my, dedicating my activities to Bhagavan, and working for the benefit of society. So that is karma and Karma Yoga. In fact, whatever I have is the result of my karmas. Whatever I go to work, and after 40 hours I get a paycheck. We say that is karma phala. That is the result of the. But not only possessions. I have to buy a house. I have to raise money. I have to earn. I have to do all that, car and so on. But even this body I have is a result of my past karmas. In my previous life, if I am a woman and I say, men, I have to be a man. The next life you will be born as a man, or a man who is all the time thinking of women will be born as a woman in his next life. So the idea is that do not have any strong likes and dislikes, because any strong vasanas will result in your new birth. If I have a strong vasana, so they say not that we shouldn't like food or people or things, but do not have strong desires or likes or dislikes, because that is the body we have is a result of my karma, whether I am a male or female, whether I am short or tall, handsome or not, or, white or black or Hispanic. All those things are a result of my past karmas. Whether I'm intelligent or not intelligent. Unfortunately, we find some people with Down syndrome, mental changes. They're a result of, unfortunately, of their past karmas. Does not mean that if somebody is suffering, he said, he is suffering because of his karmas, let him suffer. No, if I can do anything to help others and make this world a better place, I must do that. That is how I purify my karmas. So, karma phala and karma yoga, anashrita karma. Now, what is karyam karma? The next word. Obligatory duties. What are obligatory duties? So, the masters tell us obligatory duties means wherever you have been placed in life, do the duty to the best of your ability, whether I'm a mother or a father or a child or a brother, sister, grandmother, whatever my role is, where I have been placed by Bhagavan, I do the duty to the best of my ability. Not try to do somebody else's duty, like somebody has been hired as an accountant in a company. And he says, you know what? After a while, he says, yeah, I can do accounting, but this computer guy, he's not doing a very good job in coding and all. I can do better. So I not only do accounting, I start interfering in the computer guy's job and tell him, do this, do that. And then the management of this department is not good. I tried. So that is not, they will say, sir, look, sir, we hired you for an accountant. So do your accounting job. Do not interfere in computer manage. If you can make suggestions, that is good. So obligatory duties are whatever I have been assigned, I have to do to the best of my ability. If I am a child or if I am a mother or a father or a grandparent, whatever I have been, do it to the best of my ability and do it as service of Bhagavan. So there are worldly duties and there are absolute duties. Another is to make this world a better place, serve, and even spiritually. That is my main duty as a human being. I have been given a human birth, an intellect, a healthy body. With that, I must serve the world and make the world a better place. And then what is my absolute duty? See, these are my worldly duties. Absolute duty is I am Atma, I am self, always abiding in that and always connecting with the self, with Bhagavan, who is outside and within. Everywhere is that Lord. So that is my absolute duty, karyam karma. And then also when we do duties, we expect, I have done so much for this person. He didn't even say thank you. I went there, I worked that organization, I worked for 8 hours, and they didn't even give me a cup of tea. Are Gurudev says your 8 hours is worth a cup of tea. You think that's all? I go and work because that is my duty. If there is a good place to help, I go help without expecting what will I get. Because the moment you think I will get something, it becomes a business. We even go to the temple and say, Bhagwan, look, I brought some coconut. some fruit and flowers, and then we do business, there are, and then Bhagavan has given us, suppose that we want 10, we don't express gratitude, 9. We say, Bhagavan, you gave me 9. Okay, what about the 10th one? When will I get that? So we think God is like an ATM. I press the button and he should give. No expectation. The other expectation we have is with our children. I did so much for my child. I brought him up. I sent him to school, college. What does he do for me? We want a child to do for me, or we think he should listen to me. Yeah, when he's 5, 6, 7, he might. Nowadays, even 7, 8-year-olds don't listen. But once he becomes a teenager, forget it. Starts driving. Swami Ishwaranandji said he becomes a Rakshas when he becomes a teenager. So I don't know if that's, but anyway, the point is that if you think he will listen to you, or once he graduates from college, I'm paying for his college. He doesn't call me. He should call me once a week. He should, come to visit. No, he says, Mom, Dad, you paid for my education. Thank you very much. Now I'm on my own. Another expectation, he should marry whom I want. He should marry only Indian, only of my caste, of my community, only Gujarati, only. So we have all these expectations. That is called Ashrita Phalma. Without Anashrita, do not. I did my duty. I taught my child. I taught him to Bal Vihar. I taught him, gave him good values. And ultimately, child is not mine. Child is God's. Bhagwan has given me the child to take care of, to bring up. And that is my duty. That is not a favor. So that is what Anashrita Karma Phalam. Karyam Karma. Do your obligatory duty. Then he says, such a person is a Sanyāsī and a yogi. Sanyāsī means one who has given up. And yogi means one who is on the spiritual path. But Bhagwan will explain more in the later verses. Sanyāsī does not mean one who has put on orange clothes and just living there with long hair, long beard. And yogi does not mean one who has spiritual powers. We'll explain more in detail. But yoga in the doing my obligatory duties as a karma. Through me. And this, of course, Bhagwan will explain in the subsequent verses. So, working unselfishly and ultimately giving up the doership. One way of giving up doership is like a bhakta, where Bhagwan is doing everything. Or as a jnani, he says, I am the Atma, the self, and in my presence, this body, mind, intellect are working. So that will be covered in subsequent verses. And na niragni na cha akriya. Niragni means fire. So sannyasi actually does not deal with fire. What does that mean? Fire means a household, cooking, collecting food. For householders, it is our duty to work and cook and eat and all those. But for a person who has taken sannyas, it becomes society's responsibility to take care of that person. And that's what we do, these persons who have taken, like now Swamiji is coming from tomorrow. Today he's coming from tomorrow. He will give lectures. So these Swamijis of the Chinmaya mission, they take sannyas, they study for 2 years, and then of course after that they continue to study. But then their life becomes dedicated to the mission, to all of us. All these, whatever knowledge you and I have about spirituality, it is because of Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda, all the other acharyas, Swami Tejomayananda ji, Swarupananda ji, Swami Ishwarananda ji, whom all of us have met and been with. And tomorrow we'll be listening to Swami Aparajitananda ji. So all these great Mahatmas, Swamis, Sanyāsīs have spent their whole life in service. Puja Gurudev, he was working with 15% heart function. His left ventricle, only 15%. And the doctors told him, you should stay in Bombay, rest, and do talks in Bombay. Don't travel. He said, if I rest, I rust. Until his last breath, he was traveling throughout the world, every week in a new country, in a new city, doing Gita, Gyan, Yagnas, and Upanishad teachings. Until his last breath, he was teaching. So we have a tremendous gratitude to these sannyasis. So it is our duty to take care of them. So we offer Diksha, when these Swamijis come to our house or to the mission. That is our way of expressing gratitude and taking care of these Mahatmas. Also, when we go to holy places, there are some sadhus who are there, and and maybe they will do pujas for us, or or some of them are giving talks in these holy places. So supporting and taking care of sannyasis and the ashrams, where they have Gurudev has established this ashram. So all these ashrams that are established, it is our duty to take care of them. So that is fire. Fire also means the yagnas. See, one fire is, of course, we do cooking in the house. Other fire is when we do rituals. When you do rituals, we do yagnas, like we said, for benefit of society, for benefit of others. But then some people do yagnas for a particular purpose. Say, you're not having a child, you might do yagna, like Dashrath Maharaj had done yagna, and he got 4 sons. And so invoking Bhagwan's grace for our success, for our home. I buy a new house, I do yagna for purification, start a new business. Or some people do yagnas to go to heaven, especially in the olden days. They used to do yagna where heaven was guaranteed. If you do the yagna fully, you are guaranteed to go to heaven. So when a yagna or this fire is done for a particular goal, we just finished Mundak Upanishad, and Mundak Upanishad says that when you do for a particular goal, it could be for a child, for a house, for a business or factory, or even to go to heaven, all these yagnas will cause rebirth. See, the moment I do something with a goal in mind, even it could be heaven, and we know heaven is also not a permanent goal, even though some people believe that. But heaven is a temporary abode. It's like Hawaii. You go there, you enjoy, and then the moment your good karmas are exhausted, you come back to the earth, you continue your journey. Heaven or hell, they are all not permanent, but they are temporary abodes where the jiva, the subtle body, lives after death for a certain amount of time based on my good and bad karmas, and then I come back. So the Upanishad says that when rituals are done without any particular purpose, that what I will get, it is just as my homage to Bhagwan and for the benefit of all. So when yagna is done with that attitude, then that purifies the mind. So all these religious activities, whether I do charity, when I do charity also I say, people should recognize me. I should be put as in this post and recognize. No, whatever I do it for the benefit. So if even spiritual activities, if they are done with a particular desire, that will lead to further birth, what you call transmigration. But when an activity is done unselfishly, dedicated to Bhagavan, then it does not create more karmas. In fact, it will exhaust our existing karmas. Our vasanas will be reduced, and such a person will evolve spiritually. So then it says the goal of life is actionlessness. So we say, what do you mean actionlessness? You mean a sannyasi does not work, na niragni, na cha akriya, no activity. What it means is when an action is done without desire, that is actionlessness. Desirelessness equals actionlessness, where I'm doing not for me, myself, and I, not for my family, but I'm doing for all, doing for society. So actionlessness is desirelessness. What Bhagavan says, akriya. Akriya means does not work. It does not mean don't work, but do not work with a selfish motive. And as much as, of course, I have to maintain my body, my family, earn. We are not saying all that. But everything I do with the idea that will this activity take me closer to Bhagwan? Will it help me grow in my spiritual sadhana, in my spiritual journey? If it does, that I do. And if it does not, I do not do that. So my goal of life is enlightenment. I am already connect with that Atma, the self. And slowly a person who does activities for the higher, for Bhagwan, for society, without I, me, and my, develops vairagya. So develop a healthy detachment. Detachment does not mean I don't love my family, my children, and all. But I do not love them as my possessions. They are God's children. Same thing. Whatever I have, Bhagwan, you have given me, let me use it in your service. So if I have extra money, if I have extra time, if I have extra abilities, use them for service of the Lord. And develop a healthy detachment. They say vastu, vyakti, paristhiti. So do not depend on objects. Do not depend on people, or so and so person will take care of me. I only am responsible for myself. And do not depend on vastu, vyakti, or paristhiti. Paristhiti means a situation. That if I have this job, I am happy. If I don't have this job, I am unhappy. If I'm living in Bakersfield, I'm unhappy. If I go to the coast, I'll be happy. No, I am fine wherever I am. That is vairagya. And do a healthy detachment from the world. And we'll talk about detachment more in the next verse. The other important point I wanted to cover today, I may not be able to do more than one shloka because this first shloka is very, very important. And also I tried to summarize the 5 chapters. So we may only do one shloka today because the first shloka is full of very, very heavy shloka. A lot of material is there. Each word needs explanation. So the last point I would talk about is from Vivek Chudamani. Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji starts with the Durlabham Trayam. He says 3 things are very Durlabha, are very difficult to get. We are lucky to get those. Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshaya. So these are the 3 things that if you have them, you are very lucky. It is very difficult to get. First one is Manushyatvam, means to have a healthy body, have a functioning intellect, have the right understanding. So to get a human birth is very rare. You say, what rare? There are 7 billion humans. Yes, but biologists tell us that humans are only 0.5% of all jivas. Even though we are 7 billion, we are only half a percent. All the other 199 out of 200 are animals, birds, plants, fish, insects, viruses, bacteria. If you count all those, out of 200, one chance you have of human birth out of 200. And we are fortunate that we get this human birth. We get the healthy body. We get our abilities to think. So to get a human intellect, and if, as we mentioned, some people are born with physical or mental handicaps, but we are blessed that Bhagwan has given us a human birth. So it is very rare. So Shankaracharya ji says, do not waste this opportunity. It is very rare. Next life we don't know. People think, "Arey, is life mein to nahi hoga. I'll think about next life." We don't know. Next life we may be born as a buffalo. You never know. Mosquito, kya pata, who knows? So take advantage of this human birth. And the second is mumukshutva. Mumukshutva means intense desire for liberation. That now I have got this birth, Bhagwan, let me not waste it. Let me use it to liberate myself from these bondages of the world, from this cycle of birth and death. 84 lakh, 8.4 million births I went through to become a human. And again, I may go back into animal, or I may just keep taking human birth after birth. Kab tak, how long is going to happen? I am done. In this life itself, I want liberation. I want does not mean I want. Oh Bhagwan, with your grace and blessings, may I get liberated. And we have to put effort. You cannot just sit down and say, okay, God, I'm here. Now you are responsible. No, I am responsible for my actions. So I have to do my part. I have to do karma yoga, bhakti. I have karma yoga, serve the world. I have to do bhakti, regular prayers, regular meditation, japa, chanting the name of the Lord, constantly seeing the Lord in all beings, loving the whole world as Harijan. It's, the Hari is there in everybody. That Mahatma Gandhi ji taught us. So God is there in all humans. God is there in everything, even in inanimate objects, and constantly remembering the God. God is outside and God is in me. Every cell of my body is nourished by Bhagwan. So seeing God's presence everywhere and having an intense desire for liberation. God, you please help me. So I do my karma yoga, I do bhakti, and I get the right knowledge. I study Bhagavad Gita. People say, I love Bhagwan Sri Krishna, but don't tell me to study Bhagavad Gita. If you love Bhagwan Sri Krishna, you have to love his composition. So study the Bhagavad Gita, study the scriptures. That is mumukshutvam. So with the desire to get free from the cycle of birth and death. So I got manushyatvam, I have mumukshutvam. Third is Mahapurush Samshaya. Contact with great Mahatmas. And we are blessed, of course, Puja Gurudev Swami Chenmayananda ji is the one who started this mission, and the Bhagavad Gita commentary we have is given by him. So reading it regularly and applying it and studying it. And we say every day you should study 2 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita with Gurudev's commentary. Not only study them before you go to bed at night, read it a couple of times, but try to think about it the next day. So if we do 2 shlokas every night, in 1 year, you will have completed the Bhagavad Gita. So be grateful for the Mahatmas who come to our life. Now Swami Aparajitananda ji will be coming from tomorrow. And he is a great teacher. His knowledge of Vedanta is phenomenal, and his bhakti is unsurpassed. His love for God, you cannot duplicate. So be grateful for that. Be grateful and listen to them. So please log in and listen to Swamiji. Monday to Thursday, he will be here from 7 to 8:30 p.m. And he will be talking from Srimad Bhagavad on Pandavana Prasthanam, the final liberation of the Pandavas, how they got liberated from that. Very, very beautiful. It's Canto 1, chapter 13 to 15. So, Mumukshutvam, Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurush Samshaya. So I'll end here that true sannyas and true yoga is to do your activity, obligatory duties, without worrying about what will I get, but talk about what I can give. And that is true sannyas, that is true yoga, and that is what we need to practice. So I'll end here. Next week, then we'll try to cover 3 shlokas. But thank you all for your attention. So we have quite a few people on Zoom also here in the audience. If anybody would like to speak, I hope you are able to unmute. You're not able to? Okay, let me text.
Oh, I can. Okay, I'm unmuted. Good. It's done. It's done. I have one question I think is maybe kind of, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, let me increase the volume. I don't know. He has not. Let me see. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, one question is probably pretty
Can you
easy, but
speak a little loud?
okay, I'll try. Yeah. There's the aham brahmasmi, and I'm thinking, we're told, when we meditate to think of the Atman. And I'm wondering is how is that different than just thinking of Brahman? Um, I'm thinking maybe it's kind of like the wave, that's thinking, I'm too small, I can't be the ocean.
He wants to talk and he only has muted.
Yeah, okay. So your question is that I cannot be the ocean. Okay. At the body, mind, intellect level, a wave cannot say I am the ocean. The wave says I am a limited wave. Ocean is my creator, sustainer, and I merge back into the ocean. So as a jiva, as this human being with this body, mind, intellect, I am a created by God. I am created, sustained, and merged into God. So that is looking at God as Ishvara, as the creator, sustainer, and destroyer. But at the absolute level, at the level of Om, at the BMI level, I am God's servant. At the level of Om, there is only one absolute, and that I am. So it is, I am Brahman, or it depends on what level you are speaking, not at the level of BMI, but at the level of consciousness.
So
So
there a
wave is
difference?
not the ocean, but when the wave says, I am water, then water alone is the wave and the ocean. So the same way, human cannot say I am God, but when you understand I am Atma, the self, consciousness, then the Brahman and I are one. There can be only one. Brahman is ekam eva advitiyam. Brahman is one without a second. So this whole universe is just an illusory appearance upon Brahman.
Thank you. I had one other thing I was just thinking about.
Did people hear her question? She sort of asked for the difference. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
When you were talking about Dharma, and I was thinking about Vivekananda when he came to the United States, in the 1800s, and how when he came here, there were no Indians, other, of his compatriots that, would give him the right food and that he could talk to in the language. I mean, not to say that, you know, um, Swami Chinmayananda and ISKCON and some of the others that have brought Vedanta to the United States don't serve a great purpose. But I just think about him, how he came here and he didn't even want to. I mean, somehow he listened to his guru and he came here anyway. You know, and he had no one welcoming him, no one
Right,
talking to him, no one giving him the right food that he wanted to eat. And how hard that must have been. And yet he came here, and I was thinking about, now in the world we have,
right. See, he had full faith.
really hard to deal with. And
Right,
and
right.
and that somehow those cultures need to maybe be served and brought the word of Vedanta. I don't know,
Right.
just what
Yeah.
you think about that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. When he came, he came for the Parliament of Religions. He was sent for that. And the ship got delayed, so the person who was supposed to meet him wasn't there. And he just ended up in Chicago at the railway station, took a train, and he was just sitting there. And he said, "Now who is going to take me?" He had total faith. And it's, as you know, the president of that world conference, his wife happened to be at that railway station, and she saw him, talked to him, asked him why he's here, and took him to her house. And he was late, where the parliament was almost over, and she took him. He said, "Oh, you are one of the speakers," and he was the last speaker, had limited time, but the way he spoke, the whole audience was shaken up. And not only that, after that, he was invited throughout the United States. His articles came in the paper, the description. So these people, they live at a different level than you and I, these enlightened masters. But we are blessed that such people are born on this earth, and they are our guiding, Swami Chinmayananda, Swami Vivekananda, and all the other acharyas. Thank you. Thank you for your question. Any
What
other
do you think? What
questions
do you
or
think?
comments?
What do you think about, I mean, taking Vedanta, for instance, to the Muslim world? I'll just put it right out there.
To the Muslim world?
Yes.
I don't think they are ready for it. Don't think.
So
I
if they're
mean,
not asking for it, you don't take it to them. Then
no, not take it. You take it, but it's like I find a man on the street and I drag him here, come and listen to Bhagavad Gita. If he's not interested, the knowledge is available. There are some Muslims who are Vedantins, who are Advait thinkers. It's not that. It's not. It's the worldwide is available on the internet. But if they are not interested, what can we do? One of my students, actually, Armando, you may know him. He used to come to the meditation class, and he came. And I gave him some books and some material, and I said that try to spread Bhagavad Gita in Spanish, Manual of Self Unfoldment and these books, because he moved to Ecuador, and he's starting a group there, and he's trying to. So, we just make it available, and then ultimately it depends on the people. You cannot force a person to accept Vedanta unless you have that desire. Thank you.
okay, thank
Any
you.
other questions? Anybody else? Okay, go ahead, Krishna. We have a couple of minutes.
Okay, anyway, Hari Om, Happy New Year to you all. And sorry I was not able to be there in presence of Anilji and everybody there in Chinmay Mission. But anyway, see, the Muslim world, one of the things which I'll touch base on is, there is a huge Swaminarayan temple in Abu Dhabi right now. So I think, the religious tolerance or, so I think, we can consider UAE out of the 7 emirates. Abu Dhabi is one of the biggest emirate, I think, so Swaminarayan temple being there and they allowing that to be there and being inclusive of all that. I think that shows that, it's not like maybe the mainstream, it's all again, they're not shunning Vedanta or any religion, a Hindu religion, looks like to me. So I think they're open to everything, to be inclusive society. So saying that, this verse, the first chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga verse was, is what I understood is a true sannyasi, a renunciate, and yogi is one who performs duty without attachment and without seeking the rewards of action, not one who merely gives up to work. So then that's what the Krishna corrects Arjuna's misconception that renunciation is a mindset, not a lifestyle.
Yes.
So one may wear like how Anilji was saying, one may wear a dress of a monk, yet still be bound by desire. Another may live an active life, but act without selfishness. So I would say sannyasi is a renouncer, yogi is a disciplined practitioner. So
Thank you. Thank you. So we'll end here. Please log in tomorrow for Swamiji's from tomorrow to Thursday. Those who are in town must come in person, because to be in the presence of these Mahatmas itself is a blessing. It's not only listening. If you are out of town, yes, you should, log in. But those who are in town, try as much as possible to come, because being in their presence itself is a blessing. Even if you don't hear a single word of what they have said, just sitting with them is a blessing. So take advantage. It is rare for us to get teachers like of that quality to come and visit us. So we'll see you tomorrow, 7 to 8:30. Hari Om. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhave. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah. Harihi Om. Thank you very much all for attending in person and on Zoom. Hari Om. See you next Sunday. Thank you.